Okay, let's
Cypress.
go ahead and talk about Andy Cypress's Ember 2. And if you are also an underground artist and you would like to submit your project to be heard by the BBC, potentially, and potentially get reviewed, make sure you sign that Google form in the link in the description down below. But this album was actually submitted to us by Andy Cypress, who is someone who I believe is from LA. So hopefully you're doing well as well. I'm not gonna lie, Andy. I wasn't familiar with your game. You sent us your album. You submitted it. You DM too. I'm like, all right, you persistent with it. I respect persistence as long as it's not annoying. You were not annoying. And yeah, going through Ember 2. I'm not gonna lie. This was an album, like I said, that was submitted to us last year, but we're just now getting to it this year because we had a pretty busy year last year, I feel.
Yeah.
But going into this project, this project is 14 songs, 38 minutes. Has features from Stoop Kid, j.io produced it, 10K C Note, Marco Plus, who's someone I've heard from on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah, Nicole, Wakai, a lot of people I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Going into this project, I'm like, please don't let this be the spiritual miracle lyrical mayhem that I'm thinking it's going to be. Because I've seen some rumblings like, oh yeah, he has a cosign from Dreamville or something like that. I'm like, where's this gonna go? But I heard the project. I went to the first track, High Waters. I'm like, all right, this is cool. He sounds a bit like Mac Miller. I was listening to it with my girl when I first heard it. She was like, it sounds like Jack Harlow. I'm like, I can see that. We get to bed. I'm like, oh. Slash tenfold. I'm like, hold up. That second beat for tenfold? I'm like, okay. Then we get sick of it. And I don't know what it is when you bring me back to the mixtape days, me, when you start the song and then you like
Mm-hmm.
stop it, have that big boom, and then you rewind it
Mm-hmm.
back to the beginning of the song. I'm like, oh, you got me. I'm like, oh, baby, you got me. Then we gotta let it hit. I was like, okay. See, I'm like, this run that he's going on right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really enjoying it right now. Then we get to Ether. Oh, the vibey track. I'm like, hold on, this nigga's
Mm-hmm.
a lady with it. But then for the rest of the project, songs like Magic, Fell in My Lap, Pharaoh, Okay, In My Bag. I really like the features on this project as well. Some of them I was like, but none of them were as bad to where I was like, oh, that just messed up the whole song. I think the features did a good job as well. But I will say like the first half of the project where it was like high energy to where it started
Mm-hmm.
mellowing out towards the later in the project. I did like the sequencing on this project as well. I heard this album about 4 times. I gotta say that I thoroughly enjoyed this project. This is a project that I didn't know what I was going to get getting in coming into this, and I didn't hear anything previously, so I didn't have any
Mm-hmm.
notion of like where this was going to go. But I honestly enjoyed my first listen. Well, no, I enjoyed my listens with this, and this is something that he's been on my radar now. I'm going to check out some more of his stuff because this project it I really liked it. Do I have my qualms with it? A few, not too many. But overall, to me, this was fun music. This was good sounding music, which is the most important part. And that boy, he was flowing on some of these tracks. He was doing the thing
Mm-hmm.
where it was mostly fast paced most of the time. But like I said, it did mellow out after the high octane songs from the beginning towards
Mm-hmm.
the end. But yeah, overall, man, Ember 2, I was like, okay, Andy Cypress,
Hey,
you have my eye.
I echo your sentiments, B. I was really surprised with this. I feel like he has a lot of potential. I think he sounds really good on beats. He actually represented the West Coast on some of these beats and stuff. That's what made me like, oh, I didn't even look up and see where he was from or nothing. Like
Mhm.
when I started hearing the production on here, I'm like, okay, West
See,
Coast
I didn't
cat.
I didn't look it up either, but we follow each other. So I saw
Yeah,
him popping up with some of the LA stuff on the
yeah.
timeline.
He was popping up on my timeline as well, but we don't follow. I don't follow him. But
Hmm.
he has a lot of West Coast production here. Even how he flows on some of this stuff, you could tell like where he's from, where he get his, his cadence. You can hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I really love some of the production on here. Like you said, features wasn't too bad. I didn't care for Nicole on here. I don't
Hmm.
know. I didn't really like her feature, her singing
I
on
didn't
here. I don't
notice the
know.
Sticks dude either at the beginning. Maybe that was just a me thing. Maybe I was tuning it out. I
Maybe they
don't know. I
sounded
didn't
too
notice
similar to
Sticks.
you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And him having Marco Plus was on here was dope and Waukee. I think I talked about both of them on the pod before, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, but overall, man, like what you said, like the top half was I enjoyed that a little more because then you got his versatility of like with the production and him having the splits, and then you're like, okay, boom, this is up, and then it kind of does mellow out more after that half of the project. Lyrically, I don't think he's not trying to be over your head with lyrics. He's kind of straightforward. really good flow, good pocket. I think that's his strong point. I think one thing I like critique him on, like to give my critique in, because I don't want to just give him so much positivity. Like, cause no lie, you're a good rapper. I just feel like you could have your I know you have your LA, your West Coast influence. I kind of want to find you in a way of finding hone in your sound, like hone in that sound. Because at this
Mhm.
point, I just feel like he's probably a newer artist, kind of rapping on beats he like, on the style he like. But I want to find his identity pretty much. I feel like he has the pocket right, his flows right, some of the production he wants to be on right. I just want him to find his sound, his art, who he is as an artist. Because I went from this not kind of uh, leaving this not knowing who he was. I want to get
Mhm.
more
You
listens
want
to
to get
this because
more
I
of his
did.
character?
Yeah, more of his character and stuff like that. Because I know he's the laid back guy. I can see him probably, if he grows, he can want to collaborate with like a Larry June and stuff like that. But I would want to hear a little more charisma with him as
Hmm.
well. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he has the standard, rapping, beat selection, pockets, great. But I want to get that personality in there.
Hmm.
Like not trying to make you an artist that I like. I'm not trying to force something upon you. You don't have to do what I say. But I'm just saying this is what I didn't grab from you. You know what I mean? But overall, I think you did really good on this project. I was thoroughly surprised. I thought this was gonna be whack, B. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw
not
his.
gonna.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, Andy. I thought you was gonna have some whack stuff over here, but nah, I actually liked it. I played it in a half. I was like, I think
Hmm.
I like this. You know what I mean? I was like,
Hmm.
all right, because I played it like an early Saturday morning, and I was just like, all right, I think I like this right here.
Yeah, I will
All
say
right.
for me, this project, my favorite thing about this was the beat selection because sometimes
Yeah.
you can have these underground artists, and the one thing they try to do is like really try to impress you with their lyricism. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, hold on now, you still got to pick a good beat. This is music.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it sound good. Like I said, after High Waters, that intro, once you got the bet, oh, it was. I was like, ooh, that run from Bet to like Ether, like that run from Bet to Magic. I was like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. But when I was listening to the album, like I said, I'm just like, okay, this gotta slow down at some point. Like this gotta like it's got I gotta
Yeah,
come down from the high. Like I gotta be like, okay, now we get into the parts. But for me, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm like, yo, I
yeah,
like this
same.
song. Yo, I like this song. Yo, I like this song. And
Mm-hmm.
I heard it at a lower volume, heard it at a higher volume. My only critique that I have with this, I do agree with you on the sentiment of like, I wish I left more of like with some more like quotables, like some more
Mm-hmm.
like what makes you stand out. Besides the
Yeah,
fact
that's
that
what I feel to
he
say.
rap really well, like you were saying, the pockets, he raps really well. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
makes the music sound good. Because these
Mm-hmm.
beats that he's getting, especially at the beginning, they're a bit more faster. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
harder for a lot of rappers to like stay on beat and in them pockets
Mm-hmm.
and for him to kind of like adjust to the slower beats, even though he's still kind of rapping a bit faster than
Mm-hmm.
usual, adjusting to them slower beats to the second half of the actual project itself. I do wish I came out with some more quotables on this. And my only problem with this sonically has to be like I couldn't hear you all the way well, and my car system is kind of nice,
Mm-hmm.
but to be real, like there was some points where I'm just like I can't tell if he's like rapping because I'm like I'm trying to hear what you're saying, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the effect that you have on your voice and you rapping so fast, it wasn't making you as clear for me to hear every single
Mm.
word to come through really nicely.
He has
But he
to.
was
What you
flowing
saying? You
well.
think he should enunciate better, or you saying it's more to
Yeah,
do with the
I,
mixing?
I think it has to do more with the mixing because like
Okay.
if the beats was turned down a little bit more and when I was reading the lyrics I could keep up with
Mm-hmm.
them. But it's like when you're first hearing it, you're just hearing it. You don't have nothing that aids you with listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, it's a bit difficult for me to actually discern what you say, especially with that effect that he has on his voice, where he's a bit more. I don't want to say he's more mellow, but I mean, or what's the word? Not melancholy. He's not
Monotone.
monotone, but it's like you kind of like fringe on that, but he has the energy to like really keep up with that monotone style. But when his features would rap, you could hear them clearly. Like you could hear them kind of like clear as day because they didn't have no effect on them like that either.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only problem I really have with this project. But overall, man, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this project. I enjoyed the sequencing. I enjoyed you having the high tracks over here and the more mellowed out tracks, or the album progressively mellowing out. Because I believe that he said this was a mixtape, it being more a bit mellowed out
Mm-hmm.
towards the later
Okay.
end. I like the way
Okay.
that he
It's a
gave it a bit of
mixtape.
flow.
Okay. So now I can understand. You know. not the, because with an album sometimes you get a little more personable and stuff like that. So
Uh-huh.
this is just like a mixtape, some tracks he put together, the vibe. Okay, okay,
But
I
I think
got
this
it.
also, as a mixtape, this is also a really solid body of work
I
as
think it's a
well.
solid body of work. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. It
this
just,
was really like I
but
had a lot of fun with this. That's my
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this. Like
But
every time
how
I went to go
some,
listen to this, I was like, I have no problem with that.
hmm but how sometimes when you go into a project, especially a new artist, you kind of want to leave with something from them that make you stand out. Like,
Hmm.
okay, what makes him him, in a
Hmm.
way. And I feel like this not the project that'll show you like, hey, this makes me me. Like, you're not gonna get this from nobody else. But I'm not saying this makes you bad or nothing like that with what you gave me. I'm just
It
saying
doesn't make you
I just
stand out
man,
greatly.
I just want you to stand out a little more. Like, hey yo, Andy Cypress, yo, check him out. But
Hmm.
overall, really good project. I think it was good. I think it was good. I was
Yeah,
impressed
yeah, I
with
was too.
rapping, beat
Mhm.
selection, pockets,
Them
flows. I was like, all
flows,
right. I was
the
like, all
way he was
right,
flowing on
okay.
them beats, I'm like,
Yeah.
hold up, what we doing? What
I was
we
like, okay.
doing?
But yeah,
Yeah, so overall, Andy Cypress, man, I'm actually glad that you actually submitted this. I wish we would have got to this earlier, but we were just so stacked last
yeah,
year
yeah, yeah.
with all the content and stuff that we was putting out. But yeah,
And
this project was awesome.
I like them on my stuff. So anything pop up,
Mhm.
he put out is gonna pop up on my in my algorithm. So I'll be checking them out.
Yeah, I'm definitely he's definitely on my radar. I followed him on Spotify as well. Even one of his
Okay.
other songs played from his Amber One
Amber
project.
one. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was. I think it was Shield. Shield is the one that played, and I enjoyed that one even
Okay.
after it did this whole little the algorithm thing. But yeah, overall, Andy Cypress, really good project, really solid
Hmm.
project. 14 songs, 38 minutes. To me, the project kind of went by fast. I will say though,
Hmm.
there is like a difference of there's higher octane songs at the beginning, and then it starts to mellow out as you go through the album, like
Hmm.
after Ether, or I think like maybe after Magic. But yeah,
Right.
overall for me, like I said, features did their thing. Features weren't bad. The features that didn't stick out weren't bad. Features was good. Beat selection was good. Rapping like flow wise was really good as well. The only thing
Mm.
I gotta say is like the mixing maybe boost your voice or less of the effect. But besides that, I still enjoyed what I listened to on this project.
Right on.
All right, but yeah, let us know if y'all have heard this project, or let us know if you are gonna listen to this project down in the comment section down below.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.